I've had to divide this particular video in half. So this is the second part of the same video that's giving you updates on the persuasive essay. So everything that I gave in the slides up to this slide, I was kind of giving you an overview about how things should be, what a thesis statement needs to look like, how your evidence is placed in your essay, and what your counter and rebuttal statements need to be. They need to be paragraph number 5, and I'm going to give you some wording for that. But in everything that was handed in, what were the issues? What is my assessment and feedback in the outlines that were handed in? One, that the claim or thesis is not written properly like a formal thesis statement for an argumentative paper. And I'm hoping by going through those steps and modeling it for you twice, you now know how to do that. Secondly, some of the evidence is not really concrete. Some of it is repetitive, or maybe it's just an explanation of the issue, but it's not a concrete evidence that supports the problem that you are talking about. Thirdly, I think I only had 6 essays or outlines that actually had the counter and rebuttal paragraph as the paragraph 5. So most of your outlines were missing the counter and rebuttal component. So how am I going to help you improve your thesis statement or your claim? I will be uploading maybe 2 worksheets, I think, and all of these worksheets will need to be completed by Friday. So those will be uploaded by tonight. How are you going to improve your evidence to make sure that it's real, concrete evidence, not that it's just an explanation or a redundant statement? So we really need to understand what real evidence is. I'm also going to provide some worksheets, and these also will need to be completed by Friday. This slide gives you some sentence stems, and these sentence stems can be used in your counter and rebuttal paragraph. And remember, that's paragraph number 5. Okay. Remember, this is where you acknowledge people that argue against you, and then you have to defend yourself. So let's look at the counter argument sentence stems. These are some ways that you can acknowledge a counter argument. Let's look at the first one. Some will say that, and then you're going to put your thesis there. Some will say that this or my thesis is not true because, and give what kind of counter argument they will be providing against you. Okay, let's look at another example. While it is true that, and then you acknowledge the counterclaim. Okay, so these are just examples of what you can put in the counter argument. Again, remember, you have to acknowledge people that are going to provide evidence against you, and that's what you're going to do first in this counter rebuttal paragraph 5. So after you acknowledge the counterclaim, then you go back and defend yourself with the rebuttal against the counterclaim. So that's the second set of bulleted statements there. So refutation, sentence starters, or the rebuttal sentence starters. So you might, after giving the counterclaim, you might say something like, that is not the case, as we see, and then you can bring up some new evidence here if you want to. Let's look at another way to do a rebuttal. Let's see. Nevertheless, my point still stands because, and then again, you can bring up your old evidence or some new evidence if you need to. But that gives you an idea about how paragraph number 5, your counter and rebuttal paragraph, how that needs to be worded. So I have mentioned that the practice worksheets that I will be putting up, this is to help you with your formal thesis statement and providing better kinds of evidence, that those will be due on Friday. Okay, so regardless of what class you're in, Tuesday, Thursday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's all due on Friday evening. I will put the time when it's due along with the worksheets. Okay. And in the meantime, you are now given this time to go back and fix your outline, make it a edited and formal outline, and then work on your first draft for your persuasive essay. All those will be due on Monday. And again, when I have the deadline up there for you to submit the paper, you will see what time on Monday it's going to be the cutoff. Okay. So other reminders here is that your paper is a minimum of 2 pages, double space, Times New Roman, size 12 font. Don't forget, it all has to be an APA. Minimum of 2 sources. So you can have more, of course, but you cannot have any less than 2 sources in this paper. Now, this is a very important point. Point number 3, do not plagiarize. Citation, 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 and forever and ever, citation, citation. Okay? And in addition to that, have your references page. Next, check your paper thoroughly and use a plagiarism checker, and you should have this from our plagiarism lecture, to make sure it is all your own original work. Whatever gets cited in the plagiarism checker, you go back and you make sure that you have a citation for it. Don't forget your counter and rebuttal paragraphs. And again, go back to that slide that I just showed you to help you with how to word that paragraph. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this presentation. Just wait for the worksheets to be uploaded. Remember those deadlines: Friday for the worksheets and Monday for the final formal outline and for draft 1 of your persuasive essay. Don't forget to Moodle me a message if you are having trouble with any of these steps. Thank you.